Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and today we're going to spread a little bit of rock with my 2038R. So since we moved here, none of this area was rocked, and I've had, say, a little over 200 tons of rock brought in. I paved an area with rock down to my equipment shed, and this was meant to be a parking area where you'll see me driving in a minute. And turns out that's more of a traffic area, and my employees of the business are parking over here on the grass and up here behind me. I have one guy who likes to park right here, and all the grass is wearing off and I'm getting mud spots. So I want to turn these two spots today into a parking area. I've got about 40 tons of rock over there right now. Probably 25 or 30 tons of that is going to be used to fill in this trench that's been here the last few months. And that's going to be the drain lines for our new bathroom. So I'm not going to use all the rock. This may be kind of a thin layer at first while I save some rock to make sure I have enough for the trench. And then if I have any left, I'll layer more on top. But basically right now I'm going to take this dirt area and this lightly rocked area and turn those into parking areas. We've got the bucket on, which I like to initially spread by sprinkling out of the bucket as I drive backward, but then I'm also going to put the box blade on the back and use that to smooth and to carry some of that rock over here too. So let's get started. Before I can do any of that, I'm gonna have to get the quick hitch on. I normally keep it on all the time, but I was stump grinding and that's the only time I take it off. So we'll get that on, we'll go pick up the box blade and we'll get to work. What I've found works best for spreading rock in areas that didn't already have any rock is just to drive backward and feather it out as lightly as possible. If you've spread much rock, you know that if you get it dumped unevenly, it then becomes hard to spread, because as your tires go over the rock, it raises and lowers your box blade or your bucket or whatever you're using. The float function on the bucket is not as bad about that because it compensates, but I also feel like the float function doesn't put enough down pressure to effectively spread rock. I use it about half the time while I'm back dragging. I'll be in float, but if you have a very big clump that needs spread, it takes a lot of passes in float. So I try to spread it as evenly as I can, but it definitely requires more patience to spread it that way. I've talked quite a bit about my new mechanical self-leveling loader and how I prefer it to the non-self-leveling, but right here you can see the one major drawback of this loader is that it doesn't curl back as far. Now I still get a lot of rock in this scoop and the bucket's full. Where I really notice it is when I'm driving and rock is falling out before I'm ready. The reason I still prefer it is the curl back is an annoyance.
it's not an inability, if that makes sense. Because I'm annoyed that I can't curl back and lose a little bit of rock, but previous to switching loaders, what I had was an inability to lift heavier objects. It's unfortunate that you don't have an option that does both, but it is a small tractor, and so you can only expect so much in terms of lift. I really love when moving palleted goods that the loader levels itself. Before switching to this loader, I actually had a couple of pallets where I didn't keep it level enough and I lost some of the materials on the top, and obviously that's not a problem now, so that's the biggest deciding factor on this. But I wonder if the other models of self-leveling loaders from other brands and from the larger John Deere, I wonder if they are also limited on the curl back. As I was spreading this rock, I started to debate with myself again about how valuable a roller would be behind this tractor. Most of the rollers that I can find available are too lightweight in my mind to have an effect. I can't say that because I haven't used one behind a tractor. I've only used one behind a mower where it was a clear advantage. But for leveling out dirt or compressing rock, just using it as a lawn roller, what I've been questioning is that the tractor weighs 5,000 pounds, and that 5,000 pounds is compressed onto an area the size of the base of the tire, I suppose. And when I look at a roller that weighs 1,000 pounds, and that 1,000 pounds is spread over an area 4, 5, 6 foot wide, I wonder if the compaction you get from that roller even compares to the compaction you're getting from the tires, or if maybe just the roller smooths out the divots left by the tires. I have seen people running a roller behind their tractor that was mostly homemade rollers that weighed several thousand pounds and would clearly get the job done. But, that's a very expensive option. So I'm just curious what, you guys watching think about how useful a lawn roller is for something like this, such as packing rock down after you spread it, or in evening out a dirt plot. Like, I had some really bumpy areas of yard that I wanted to compact, and I can do that with the tiller or the box blade, but it feels like if I could use a lawn roller after, it would help better give me a flat surface.
All right, well, I've still got some room for improvement on my technique for spreading this rock, but I've definitely gotten a lot better since the day I bought the tractor. The first thing I did was come buried into a rock pile. I had trouble even scooping up the rock. So, it's all a learning process. I feel like I'm getting better. I don't really have time to do this completely, and like I said at the beginning, I want to save some of that rock until this trench is filled in and our bathroom is set up and running, and then whatever's left I'll fill in here. If I have to, I'll get more, because I want to connect these two pads I just made and rock all the way across there, so I'm not having to weed eat or mow in between them. But I had another revelation while I was working on this, that my employees have been parking down here, and when a delivery truck comes, oh hey, could you guys move your cars? Or it's just like a constant shuffle of where to park. And so I realized there's a bunch of large rock, not this crushed stuff like I have, but like a 3-inch rock up here in the hill that's got weeds grown across it. And I was like, I don't want to just leave that there, but it's not that usable. Do I try to dig it out? Do I cover over it? What do I do? So I'm going to make an employee parking area up there This one I just did will be your path to it. So when you come in up the driveway, instead of turning to the right where they've been parking, we're gonna turn to the left, cross this, and park right up here in a row. So I think that'll improve our workflow a little bit. For right now, while I'm waiting on this to get done, we'll park here and pack the rock more and then see how uneven it is. I have a hard time using the box blade on an area like this that I just put down. It tends to gouge in and stuff too much, but if it hardens over a course of a week or two, then I feel like I can work with it more. And actually the whole driveway needs done. So it's gonna be a full, all day spreading rock as soon as we get this other project done. But I think this is gonna improve it right now. My guy that likes to park right here couldn't because it was too muddy, so now he can. But I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. In just a minute, you'll see links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.